Hi, so I noticed a few things when I was watching back some of the recording before I uploaded it. The first thing I noticed was that my voice was incredibly low, and I have turned it up just a little bit, but most importantly, I've kind of pulled back the desktop audio. So the things that you hear, the in game client, I'm worried that you'll be able to hear mouse clicks more than you'll be able to hear the sounds of the game, but I will deal with that if it becomes a problem. The other thing I noticed was that there was a setting that I wanted to change in game if I could get to it from here. And if not, we'll go into a quick, um, basically a solo match and try and change it. We're going to leave our language filter on because I'm going to try my best not to swear, just so that this is more accessible to a wider audience. This video is more for me than for the rest of the people on the channel. Master volume down to 25. I want that to be enough. I don't think I want to be in League voice. If only because I'm recording most of my games, and I could see how that could go badly very quickly. We're going to go ahead and drop the master volume here down to 25%. We don't want move camera on revive. Auto attack is personal preference. I don't think I mind it for now. We might turn that off later. I don't know what use movement prediction does, but we have a key bound to attack move, and we're going to keep using it that way. However, what I'm looking for allows me to turn off summoner names. And I don't see it, so I'm going to see if I can go into training, practice tool, and while we're here, we will look at some of Lux's abilities.
Let's light it up.
But this video is mostly for me just to test out audio quality. And I've been sitting kind of right up next to the mic, and I probably shouldn't do that, if only because when it comes to real recording, I'm likely to be more reclined in the chair. So I think it's unlikely that I will be all up on the mic when I'm playing the game. So I want to try and balance the sound around how I'm going to be playing. So if it's a question anyone has, the reason we are going out of our way to try and turn off summoner names is because people in this game have a tendency to name themselves things that would not be desirable to show on the type of channel I'm trying to create. It is not that I am offended or that I am upset for reading these people's names. It's just that the game has provided me a mechanic that allows me to not have to deal with that. I don't have to worry about somebody deciding they want their name to be offensive. And I don't have to worry about people who are offended by people's usernames. So give me just a minute. We're going to turn on colorblind mode because that's all fine and well. Actually, I think we'll hide eye candy.
30 seconds until
I don't know what screen shake does. That probably will end up getting turned off at some point. Go ahead, scale. Let's see. Let's turn the mini map up. Let's make a big old mini map. Gonna make it hard not to see people sneaking up on me on the mini map. Let's see. Summoner name. We want champion name. Here it is. So it's under when you get into a game, it's under interface, and it's a little bit. Scroll down just past the sliders, and it's show names above health bar as champion name. All right, and now that we're here, I'm just gonna kind of once over and actually read these abilities. So Lux passive is Illumination. Lux's damaging abilities mark enemies for 6 seconds. Lux's attacks consume the mark, dealing 24, and then I think that means magic damage. Increased by magic damage, I think is what that combination of symbols is trying to tell us. Final Spark will consume marks on enemies it hits and refresh them. Okay, so Final Spark is our ultimate. We'll get to that. So our first ability is Light Binding. Lux fires a ball of light, rooting the first 2 enemies for 2 seconds and dealing 91 magic damage to each. This is how we've been trapping people under towers and keeping them from jumping on us. Our W is Prismatic Barrier. Lux throws her wand, granting 51 shield to allies. It passes through. Then it returns, granting the same shield on its return. Okay, so I was under the impression that shield was bigger on the way back, but that's likely because it's applying more than once. Our third ability, our E, is called Lucent Singularity. I hope I'm reading this correctly. Lux creates a light zone that slows by 25% and reveals the area. After 5 seconds, or on recasting this ability, it detonates, dealing 71 magic damage and slowing for an additional second. So if we hit shift, we get more information. I don't think this information is super important for brand new players. I think it's mostly important when you're getting to the point where you're trying to master a champion. So things like, so what this is telling me is that at rank 1, it will do 60 damage. It will slow people by 25, however that applies to movement speed. It'll cost 70 mana, and it'll have a cooldown of 10 seconds. And each number to the right of that is for another spell rank. So every time I level up the ability, it will move 1 notch to the right in this. It's not quite a table. And all abilities have that. For champions you never played before, I would recommend coming to the practice tool. The practice tool has all kinds of things where you can auto-refresh cooldowns, you can level yourself up, so you have all your abilities. Let's get all the way to 6. Then we're going to practice using the keyboard to upgrade our stuff instead of clicking on them, because I think it's a good habit. So Q, W, E, R while holding control. And then I have been leveling up E first, so we're going to continue doing that. Whether it's correct or not, I don't know. I haven't looked it up yet.
Shine with me.
So it auto-refreshes the cooldown of all of our abilities. What it isn't doing, however, is preventing us from running out of mana. So let's auto-refresh mana energy. And now you can just kind of practice throwing your skill shots. So if I remember correctly the way I have it bound, if I hold shift and press an ability, it should be normal cast. So I can wait and choose where it goes. However, if I just press an ability, it automatically goes. So there's no mouse click, it just press E and there goes the Lucent Singularity. Press Q and there goes the Lucent Singularity. Which is good because the faster you can react to something, the more likely, well, that's not necessarily true. For the place I'm at in my playing of the game, faster reaction speed is slightly more important than 100% accuracy. It does lead to some missed skill shots. I would recommend, if you don't know characters or you're trying to learn them, using the spell indicators. Like, it's better to learn your ranges and then turn it to SmartCast when you're ready than to try and play everything with SmartCast and then just hope you can learn the ranges. Like, I don't know. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm sorry, our max rank ult is only 38 seconds. Where's our level up? With no items, she has a 37-second ult. Alright, we're gonna teleport back to the fountain real quick. If I can find the button. I know it exists. Wow, you can spawn all sorts of things. Stack tier is just a button you can press. Wow. Ah, teleport. It was on the first page of stuff. We're just going to teleport back here. We're going to give ourselves some gold. And we're going to buy a full build. So we're going to buy Sork shoes. We've been buying Zhonya's. Deathcap is good. Morello is good. And then, do we have one more slot? So normally I would just buy a Void Staff because I am old, and that is what we bought back when I played the game. Deathcap and Void Staff were kind of essential on every mage. And then let's teleport and hit some targets.
Pushing my limit.
Yep, that is Lux in a nutshell. I do think before I play again next time, I'm going to go to some sort of internet resource and figure out kind of what people are building on Lux and then try and figure out why. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking that up. And in the next video, I will link the resources I used to make the decisions as to what I'm going to build. I think that is going to be more important when our character has access to changing their runes. But I do think it is important for new players to understand that, like, even...
If you can smile,
I don't know. Not like even I look stuff up. I'm not that good. I'm pretty average at best. Like, at the best of times, I'm an average player, in my opinion. How many wards will it let me have?
Here I go. The light follows.
So you can only have 3 at a time. It's good to know there is a limit, so realistically you'd only ever be able to get 3 out. But it is good to know there are limits. So with full items, her ult is a 20... 26-second cooldown, 27-second cooldown. And I don't know how bad you can hear the keyboard. I'm gonna hear it before I... but yeah, I'm gonna end the recording here. Anyway, this is the practice tool. We will probably spend more time here. I just needed to turn off basically player names so that they show for a minimal amount of time so that I can focus on
Lighting the way.
the game and not the people in the game, if that makes sense. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with the players, just I don't think it's super important who we're playing with, but it is important how they're playing. So, champion name. If there are any other settings that you think that I should change, let me know. Our HUD scale doesn't really need to be that big. How big is the shop? I'm okay with this. Let's make the HUD a little bigger because I am a little on the blind side. You don't want it taking up like your full screen, so you don't need it that big. You know, there are things that could be happening in this space on the screen. That could also be said of the minimap though, and I'm just gonna leave the minimap huge. Like 75. So let me actually look at this. I know I said I was gonna end the video, but I do want to see how this looks in top lane. So there are places on the map where your on-screen stuff matters. So here, the mini-map is actually blocking my ability to see the jungle, like the river and people approaching from the river. And the same for your HUD here. That's me reverting to old keybinds. If I haven't said it before, on my main account I have QWENR bound to 1, 2, 3, and 4 because I came from playing World of Warcraft. And because I came from playing World of Warcraft, I was used to having, I guess, my hands more spread out on the keyboard, and switching to QWER felt very, very cramped. Now my gaming experiences are different in that I play a lot of games differently than I did back when I made that decision. And I think it is easier for me to go out of my way to relearn the key bindings so that I can try and better explain to somebody else what I'm doing in the moment. And I think the best way that I can explain it is I'm of the opinion that if I can climb to gold or platinum or diamond or masters or however high you want to climb, if I can do it, anyone can do it. It's just a matter of time and I think for the most part keeping a level head. I don't pretend to be, or at least I'm not trying to pretend to be a professional at this game, or, you know, the end-all be-all on what is good and what is bad. Everything that I recommend on this channel is my opinion and what I think is going to be the most helpful, or the most reasonable way to go about doing things. And at the end of the day, if I can help like a small handful of people, I think then I'll have accomplished what I set out to do. With all that sappy nonsense being said, I'm gonna put this kind of on the channel just to kind of get in the habit of uploading things. And I'm just trying to be transparent with all of the changes I made. So, best of luck. Sorry for making this a two-parter, but I will see you guys tomorrow.